Hello, my name's Joanne James and welcome to another tutorial from the Crafty Owl. Today I'm going to show you how I made this Flowerpot card. I won the Pals Paper Art Challenge with this a couple of weeks ago. It was actually a colour challenge and the colours I used on my original card were Rose Red, So Saffron and Wild Wasabi. But I've had so many inquiries about this card, about how I made it and the various dimensions, that I thought I would make a quick tutorial. So the card that we're going to make today is going to be in an alternative colourway. I actually used Sahara Sand for my flower pot, combined with Perfect Plum and Blushing Bride, and I used some Old Olive for my leaves. So the important dimensions as far as the flower pot is concerned are as follows. The base piece measures 16 centimetres in length by 9.5 centimetres across, and that's scored at 8 centimetres. The dimensions of that in inches are 6 2/8 of an inch in length and 3 3/4 of an inch across, and scored at 3 1/8 of an inch. In addition, you'll need a small piece of Sahara Sand that measures 3 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres, or 1 1/4 inches by 3 3/4 inches. And then similarly, a piece of Perfect Plum that measures about 2 centimetres by 9.5 centimetres. And they're your base dimensions for your flower pot. You'll also need a small piece of Whisper White card which measures 6 centimetres by 8 centimetres, or 2.5 inches by 8.5 inches. Oh sorry, that's 2.5 inches by 3 1/8 of an inch across, so that's 2.5 by 3 1/8. And then in addition to your basic flower pot pieces, you'll need a sentiment. So for this card I'm using For My Mother, which is actually from the Delightful Dozen set. That's this set here, there it is. And then also you'll need some flowers. So for my flowers I used the Secret Garden stamp set, which is this stamp set here. I actually used all of the flowers and I did various different kind of colour. I just basically stamped them and then coloured them with blender pens. I've not included that within this tutorial because obviously it takes a little while to do, but in order to make this flower pot I actually used 2 of the lilies, 2 of this flower here, 2 of the larger flower. I use 1 of these, and then I use 4 of the very small one in different colours. So I did 3 in the purple and 1 in pink, and then I cut all of those out with my Secret Garden Framelits. In addition, I also cut out 3 sections of leaf from the Secret Garden. I actually cut those straight out of Old Olive cardstock. So that's all of the pieces that you need in order to make your card, in addition to which you'll need some dimensionals and you'll also need some glue. So I'm going to use Tombow today just because that's my kind of glue of choice. So let's get started. The easiest thing is the base itself. So once you've cut your piece of card to size, you need to just mark out your flower pot. And if you look here, you can see my pencil lines. So basically I came down 3 centimetres and then I went in for 1/2 centimetre, and then at the very bottom I went in for a whole centimetre. So if you look at it on my grid paper, can you just see there? You can see how that looks, just to give you a slight edge to your flower pot. So you just need to mark all of those. I've marked them on here in pencil just to make it easier for you to see, and then you just need to cut them out. I mean, you could use your trimmer for this, but obviously it's a little bit more tricky because it's on an angle. I actually find it easier to just mark them out in pencil, because you can always rub away any lines, and then just cut those away very, very carefully to make sure that you get a nice straight edge. There you go. So once you've cut those excess pieces away, you're left with your flower pot shape, which if you then fold your card in half, you will see you've got your flower pot base. like so. Okay, and then all you need to do from there is taking your Tombow, first of all, actually attach your coloured border to your smaller piece of Sahara sand, and you just need to line it up. You don't need to be too precise, but just so that you can see that border of colour at the bottom of the pot, like so. And then you need to take your piece of Whisper White and just put a little bit of glue on the back, because you're going to place this, if I fold that in half so you can see it's the top of the card, you're going to actually just position this about 1 centimetre down from the fold, because this is just going to help your give you something to stick your flowers to and give you a little bit of rigidity. Okay, and then you're going to take your rim of your flower pot and just stick that over the top, like so. So you need your flower pot base made first, and then you can start attaching your flowers. So that's how easy it was to create your base. And then the next thing you do is, obviously once you've kind of stamped and cut out all your flowers, you just need to start constructing. And you can position them obviously pretty much however you like, but I made mine into this shape because actually this card fits into a standard 6" by 6" envelope. So if I just show you that here, that card fits in there perfectly. So whether you use a standard 6 by 6 envelope or whether you make one using your envelope punch board, that will make that life very easy. So all we need to do now is basically construct and put our flowers in place. So here we go. So we need to start with our leaves, and obviously as you'll have just seen there, you kind of need to get a feel for your positioning and your spacing, but you need to be mindful of where you put your glue, because some of these bits are going to overhang and you don't want them to have glue on them. So just put a little bit extra on there to hold that down. Just move those stray bits of glue that I've just rubbed off with my hand. Okay, and then the next thing I did was I started with actually the larger flower, and this one I actually just stuck on flat. I put a little bit of glue in the middle. Again, be mindful, this one is going to be this flower here, and you need to leave some space because I actually put my tag in last, but you need to just leave a little bit of space so that you can slip that underneath. So you can obviously put your flowers in pretty much however like you like. I'm going to put that one there just like that, so it's slightly off center, and then I'm basically just going to build my flowers around it. And there you go. So with all of the flowers in place, broadly into that kind of nice kind of bunched shape in your pot, the last thing you have to do is just add your sentiment tag. And I actually stamped mine on a piece of card that was 8 centimetres by 2 centimetres. What I tend to do is make them a little bit longer and then just see, in actual fact that's perfect. So I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the bottom so that when I push it in, it will stick down. I'm just going to tuck it underneath my flowers like so you can just see it sticking out there. And there you go, one flower pot card. And as I say, you can kind of lay your flowers pretty much however you like, but if you use some dimensionals as well, it gives you that kind of 3D effect. And if we just turn it over and look at the back, clearly it looks a little bit more messy from the back, but so long as you're careful about how you apply your glue and your dimensionals, none of them will overhang this back panel and you won't see the back panel. So you know, from the front it looks absolutely super, and then obviously you can lift it up and write your message inside. So I hope you found that tutorial useful. That's how you make a flower pot card. I look forward to seeing your creations. Thanks very much for watching. Come back next time for another tutorial from the Crafty Owl. Goodbye.